success, adventure, diversity, pride, growth. These are just some of the responses Ohio University students gave when I asked them what being a Bobcat means to them. But some of these Bobcats are willing to pay a vastly different tuition depending on if they go to a main or regional campus. Ohio University consists of the main Athens campus, along with 5 regional campuses and 3 centers in southeastern Ohio. Senior accounting major Alex Miller started off at the main campus and then, for personal reasons, spent a quarter at the Zanesville campus before coming back to Athens.
What would you say would be the biggest difference going from a regional campus back to a main campus?
Zanesville, I'd say, was more like just education centered. It was school for a purpose. Ohio University in Athens, community really, I feel like it's a community.
Anything you miss about the regional campus?
It was cheaper.
A full-time student at Ohio University's regional campus pays less than $2,500 a semester. Now that same full-time student on the Athens main campus pays about $4,600 a semester. That's nearly twice the price to attend the main campus, and the end result is the same Ohio University degree.
So why the inequality of tuition between the main and regional campuses? One factor is size. The main Athens campus has more than 200 buildings, covers 1,800 acres, more than 20,000 students, and 900 plus full-time faculty. The average regional campus has fewer than 10 buildings, around 2,000 students, and less than 100 full-time staff. Because of the much greater size of the Athens campus, tuition is higher to pay for a lot more scholarships, institutional support, and academic support. 15% of tuition goes towards facilities, utilities, and capital improvements. This includes the upkeep on classroom buildings, but also dorms and student support facilities, such as the Baker Center, Alden Library, and Ping Recreation Center. It also covers the cost of campus lighting, cleaning services, and police security, which are much higher on the larger campus. The Vice Provost for Enrollment Management, Craig Cornell, says costs are only one part of the tuition equation. Another important reason for the tuition difference is the type of student regional campuses are serving and what that student can afford.
Part of it is the desire to keep the costs low on the regional campuses. There's a part where the system as a whole is trying its best to keep those costs down because it's about the access, it's about the opportunity for those students. Could we raise the prices? Yeah. Maybe should we raise the prices? Well, if you do that, sure you can provide a lot more services. So students may be like, we want a lounge. Okay, well we can do a lounge, but that means we have to add $1.50 for every credit at the regional campus.
As Director of Operations and Budgets for regional campuses, Rosanna Howard is heavily involved in figuring out what tuition will be. She says that regional campuses have kept below the 2% tuition increase allowed by the state.
The regional campuses on average stayed about 1.6, 1.7%. So we are not always looking to increase to that cap. We are trying to be mindful of our students and be able to provide additional resources but not have that impact directly on the students.
Economics professor Richard Vetter has taught at both the main and a regional campus. He says tuition is not the only thing to consider when thinking of college finances.
The big cost saving isn't really the tuition differences, although they are somewhat lower on the regional campuses. The real savings is the housing differences. And you save a lot of money living at home for 2 years.
Students attending the main campus who are not residents of Athens County are required to pay room and board for their first 2 years.
Being on Zanesville had its benefits. I wasn't paying room and board. I didn't have like a meal plan, any of that that adds up.
There's not only a stark difference when it comes to tuition between main and regional campus students, but in the general fees as well. Let's put this into perspective. A student at a regional campus pays about $33 a semester, which puts us here at the 3.3 yard line. Now a student at a main campus pays about $628 a semester, which puts us nearly 60 yards back. So here's the breakdown.
The biggest part of the main campus fee is dedicated to intercollegiate athletic operations at 34%, nearly $215. Students pay $125 for student affairs. Campus recreation makes up 18% of the fees. 16%, or about $100, goes to Baker University Center. Although it is just under 1% of the general fee, about $6 per student is reserved for Halloween safety for the infamous Ohio University annual block party, and the same amount goes to funding for the bowl games, the Marching 110, and Graduate Student Senate. Student Senate Treasurer and member of the General Fee Committee, Adam Brown, says that these fees enhance the college experience of main campus students.
We basically subsidize certain parts of the university. And if you view, like, let's say football tickets or football entrance, it's free. Well, it's free in that you're not paying every time you go to a game because you've already paid for it through your general fee largely by subsidizing another part of the university. So if that's something that is really important to you, is being able to go and, cheer on the Bobcats, then in that sense, it can very much so be worth it.
When looking at a diploma from a main and regional campus, one can see that they both simply say The Ohio University. But our research shows that one clearly costs more, so the question remains, are they really the same?
Ben Stewart is an engineering professor on main campus, and he believes that there's a difference in the quality of math education.
I will tell you that the majority of the students that come from regional campuses into engineering, and there's not many, but some of them do find coming to main campus a bit of a struggle. The calculus classes that they took the first year or two on one of the branches, maybe not as prepared for what's going to happen when they get here. It may be a lot of different factors, though, that might go into that.
Executive Dean for Regional Higher Education, William Willen, says that the math instructors on all campuses are equally qualified.
It's a matter of establishing the standards that are common to Ohio University. Our instructors go through the same clearance processes that instructors in Athens go through. When we hire someone to teach math, for example, that person goes through a process of clearance through the Department of Mathematics here in Athens.
A degree is a degree from Ohio University, and we have strong faculty in both sides of the equation. I think I don't think that's, to me, that's not what the issue is. I think it's really more about the opportunity for the student, what works best for him or her at whatever campus meets their needs, and so it's about an access mission.
This is Ohio University Southern student and aspiring history professor Jason Burkhart. He's a 35-year-old father who lives a few miles from campus over the state border in Kentucky. He explains that for him, relocating to main campus was just not the right fit.
I thought about it, but I just couldn't find it to be feasible because I've got a lot of stuff going on here. I've got a child and things like that. So I don't get to see him enough as it is where I'm divorced. So going 2 hours away would be even worse.
Another thing that influenced Jason's decision to not relocate is his relationships with the smaller faculty of Ohio University Southern.
I think really the quality of the education here is probably better, in some ways because, of course the faculty's held to the same standard, but where the class sizes are so much smaller, we can get more one-on-one time with the professor and more specialized instruction.
Some students would disagree and say that there's not a problem with access to professors on the main campus.
I think the problem that students who don't get one-on-one time here, I just don't think are trying hard enough. I tend to think that if you ask for help and you ask enough, they'll give you time. They have office hours, so I guess I never really had a problem here, so I didn't see a big change when I went to Zanesville.
Outside the classroom, Ohio University in Athens is known for its strong social life. Some regional students, like Chillicothe student Alexandria Getty, see the attraction of a residential atmosphere, but do not think it is worth twice the tuition.
I did go down for homecoming, and that was pretty exciting. Probably one of the wildest times, but it is nice up there, I will say. So here it's more of, everyone's focused on, I want to graduate now.
A residential experience is very different from the experience at a regional campus, which is based on a commuting to campus. There are many activities outside of the scope of an education that happen at a campus such as Ohio University Athens that aren't available through a commuting situation. So it is very much different in terms of the student life component, being around, living with other students.
Even though there is little chance for social life on regional campuses, there is still a strong sense of community. The regional campuses were created to provide opportunities to access higher education for people in economically distressed areas. The programs at these campuses are often designed to help fill the community's need for trained workers in fields such as nursing and healthcare, business, and media. Ohio University Southern's Stephanie Sarvin says that the nursing program works closely with the surrounding hospitals.
The campus is very involved in the community around here, and there's a lot of involvement with the community on the campus. We do have a lot of students that go to the local hospitals, and they will actually get a permanent job before they even graduate our program.
We do consider ourselves one university. We try to work well together. When our recruiters go out from regional campuses, what we try to do is to suggest to potential students that they consider the various options and see what's the best for their particular life circumstance.